Welcome to the viewers for the lecture in the subject structural analysis. So, in this lecture we will take matrix stiffness method. Actually, already we have discussed the overview of the method in the lecture number 108. So, we have given the general procedure and basics. Now, we will take up the analysis of, we have discussed the procedure for the analysis of continuous beams. We will combine both. We will discuss the procedure and do a numerical example. But before that, I will just give you a very brief introduction. So, we know that the degree of difficulty of the analysis of the structure depends upon the kinematic indeterminacy of the structure. So, kinematic indeterminacy, as we know, refers to the number of possible joint displacements in a structure, right. So, when the possible displacements are 3, the matrix will be 3 by 3. When the number of possible displacements are 4, the matrix will be 4 by 4, like that. So, that depends upon the kinematic indeterminacy, right. First we have to get the constrained structure. You know, when we analyze a structure by matrix flexibility method, we first find out the degree of static indeterminacy and find out the determinate structure first. We get the statically determinate structure first by removing as many number of reaction components as required. Similarly, in the matrix stiffness method, first find out the kinematic indeterminacy and make the structure kinematically determinate. Kinematically determinate means you have to arrest all possible displacements, all possible joint displacements, theta, delta, everything you have to arrest. So, we have to get the kinematically determinate structure. So, that is what is called a constrained structure. Kinematic determinate means, suppose we take a structure like this, a two-span continuous beam like this, kinematically determinate structure means, so we have to, already it is a fixed end. Now, here also you have to induce a fixed end, a fixed support, and here also we have to have a fixed support, so that theta b 0, theta c is already theta a is 0, theta b 0 and theta c 0. This is what is called the constrained structure or statically, kinematically determinate structure, that is to be done. And then we have to get the stiffness matrix. For getting the stiffness matrix, we have to apply the displacements one at a time, theta b once, theta b alone, then theta c alone. Then we have to develop the stiffness matrix, that we will discuss when we do the problem, right. And then the main equation is that of the equilibrium equation. In the matrix flexibility method, we have used compatibility equation, compatibility of displacements. Now, equilibrium of forces, here we have to use the equilibrium equation. So, the equilibrium equation is K into U equal to f of f minus f naught. We are aware, already we know what is a stiffness matrix, what is a stiffness coefficient, how to generate the stiffness coefficients, that we have discussed in lecture number 14, lecture number 14, we have already discussed generating the stiffness matrices for determinate structures. So, we know what is stiffness coefficient, etc. Of course, we are going to generate stiffness matrix for indeterminate structures here. We will just, so this is the stiffness matrix. So, these are the unknowns. So, these equations already we have discussed, I am just summarizing, that is all. So, U stands for the displacements. Displacements are the unknowns here, and right hand side is F. F consists of f of f and f naught. F of f means the forces applied along the system coordinates. That is, if this is the structure, this is A, this is B and this is C. Now in this structure, theta B is possible and theta C is possible. Theta B is one unknown, theta B is one unknown, theta C is another unknown. So corresponding to theta B and theta C, we have marked system coordinates. System coordinate 1 corresponds to theta B, system coordinate 2 corresponds to theta C. Theta C. Now, in the given structure, in addition to the loading on the span, suppose a moment is given at B, an external moment is given at B. Similarly, an external moment is given at C. Of course, here it is not given. So, corresponding to the two coordinates, if external forces or external moments are applied along the system coordinates, that we have to mark here. So, this corresponds to the forces, external forces applied along the system coordinates. Some moment or some force is given. Right. If that is not given, this value will be 0. Now, in this problem, theta B is one unknown, theta C is another unknown. So, at theta B, there is no external moment. At theta C, there is no external moment. Therefore, this term will not be there. F of F. So, these are F of F stands for external forces applied along the system coordinates. External. So, if there is no external force along the system coordinates, that value will be 0. So, because one has to be very specific in these points, so that doing problem will not be difficult. Right. Next is F naught. F naught, they are the forces in the system coordinates. System coordinate, we know this is system coordinate 1, this is system coordinate 2. Forces in the system coordinate corresponding to the fixed end moments. So, if external force is given, we have to find out the fixed end moments. So, for that problem, so there will be a moment like this, there will be a moment like this, there will be a moment like this. So, these will be the fixed end moments. So, at system coordinate 1, these two will give you F1 naught. This will give you F1 naught. So, the moment M of BA and M of BC will give you the force here, that is F1 naught. Similarly, this is F2 naught. So, we need not bother about this value because this is already fixed. So, at coordinate 1, the value resulting from these two will be our F1 of F. At coordinate 2, this fixed end moment will be F2 naught. Therefore, they are the forces in the system coordinates corresponding to the fixed end moments, or they will be called as fixed coordinate forces. So, that will give you F1 naught and F2 naught. So, if these terms are clear, the procedure will be simpler, because in understanding and writing these terms carefully will help in solving the problems. So, with this brief introduction, we will take up the numerical example of a continuous beam, a two-span continuous beam. Right. Now, the problem is, actually this is our lecture number 122. Now the problem is analyze the continuous beam shown in figure using the direct stiffness method. As we have discussed, there are two approaches. One is element approach, the other one is system approach. Element approach already we have discussed in lecture 13 to 20, etc. Earlier lectures we have discussed element approach. Now we are following direct approach or system approach. So how to solve this problem? By using the system approach or direct approach. So this is what is given in the current syllabus. Therefore, right. Now to solve the structure, we know first we have to find out the kinematic indeterminacy of the structure. Kinematic indeterminacy in this case is theta b and theta c are the possible joint displacements. Theta b is one possible displacement and theta c is another possible displacement. Therefore, Ki equal to 2. Therefore, the size of the stiffness matrix will be 2 by 2. Right. Now, so K will be 2 by 2. K will be 2 by 2. Right. Now, we know it is K into K is the stiffness matrix, U is the unknown displacements equal to, let us have it as F. It is F of F minus F naught, that we know, right? F equal to, this is the equilibrium equation. Now we have to get the stiffness matrix. So here the stiffness coefficients will be that of force quantities. And here right hand side, this is also force quantities. Right. Now we will gradually do the problem. First we will find out the fixed end moments. This is for getting the right hand side. Fixed end moments. So M of AB, when you take the span AB, it is subject to central concentrated load. Therefore, it is minus WL by 8 equal to minus of 60 into 6 by 8 equal to minus 45 kilonewton meter. M of BA, so these are all elementary, I will just go fast. WL by 8 equal to 60 into 6 by 8 equal to plus 45 kilonewton meter. M of BC is subject to UDL, therefore minus WL square by 12 equal to minus 10 into 6 square by 12. 6 square by 12 equal to minus 30 kilonewton meter. And M of CB equal to WL square by 12 equal to 10 into 6 square by 12 equal to 30 kilonewton meter. That's about the fixed end moments for the span AB and BC. Right. Now we are going to find out one term for the right hand side. So the fixed end moment for the spans AB and BC, for this it is minus 45, therefore it is anti-clockwise 45 kilonewton meter. This is clockwise 45 kilonewton meter. This is 30 kilonewton meter, and this is again 30 kilonewton meter. So that's what we have got it. These are the fixed end moments. This we have got it, right. Next is determination of the fixed coordinate forces. The right hand side F will be consisting of the fixed coordinate forces and forces given at the system coordinates. Now, in our problem, there are two system coordinates. Now, here theta b is one coordinate, theta b is the beam, this is one support, this is another support. So, corresponding to this we have system coordinate 1, corresponding to this we have system coordinate 2. There are two system coordinates. There are two system coordinates, right. Now, the value f consists of, f will be f equal to f of f minus f naught, f of f minus f naught. F of f is due to, suppose if there is any external forces here along the coordinate 1, if some external moment is given, that we have to account. Now, here it is not given in our problem, therefore along coordinate 1 there is no external moment, there is no external. Along coordinate 2 also there is no external moment, there is no external. So, this also is not given. Therefore, f of f equal to 0. That means there are no external moments along system coordinate 1 and system coordinate 2. Second one is the fixed coordinate forces. Fixed coordinate forces are resulting from the given external forces, namely from the fixed end moments. So, these values are to be calculated along the system coordinates only. That is, this is system coordinate 1, system coordinate 1. Along the system coordinates, you have to consider these two moments. One is 45, one is 45 plus 45, the other one is 30. The other one is 30. This is along the system coordinate 1, system coordinate 1, right. So, system coordinate 2, the corresponding value is plus 30. Therefore, this value is 30 equal to. So, this will finally give you a value equal to 45 minus 30 equal to 15. Already there is minus, therefore, this is minus 15. Right. This is 30, but this is minus, therefore, this is minus 30. So, minus 15 minus 30, this is the value of f, right hand side. So, right hand side value f equal to minus 15 and minus 30. So, this is for the right hand side of the equilibrium equation. Then we have to form the K matrix. We have to form the K matrix. So, for K matrix, we have to apply unit forces along the system coordinates one at a time and form the stiffness matrix. Now, let us apply the force along system coordinate 1. That is system coordinate 1, this is the given beam, this is the given beam. Now we have to apply unit force or unit displacement and on system coordinate 1. So corresponding to the coordinate 1, it is a rotation. We have to apply unit displacements, because here displacements are the primary unknowns. Therefore, for getting the actual value of displacements, we have to start with the application of unit displacement. So the displacement corresponding to coordinate 1 is that of the rotation. Therefore, here we have to apply unit rotation. The rotation to be applied at system coordinate 1. And when you apply a displacement, we know in the definition of the stiffness coefficient, we have to apply one displacement at a time, because it is the force developed at coordinate I, that is Kij, already we have discussed, stands for the force developed at coordinate I due to unit displacement at the coordinate j, with the condition that no displacement occurs except at j. That is, we have to apply only one displacement at a time. We have to arrest all other displacements. Now we are releasing the constrained structure. This is the constrained structure or kinematically determinate structure. In this structure, theta b is possible, you have arrested. Theta e is possible, you have arrested. Now we have to apply only one displacement at a time. So here you apply the displacement. By that time, theta c will have to be arrested. So we have to treat this as fixed. Now we have to treat this as fixed. Only one displacement at a time. Right. Now the value of the displacement is unity. So here it will be 0 because it is fixed. And here we will be applying theta b equal to unity. And when this undergoes a rotation, this will also undergo the same rotation. Again it will be 0 because this is fixed. So here we are applying unit displacement, 1 and 1. So one displacement at a time. By the time the other ends will be treated as fixed, only one displacement at a time. Right. Now already we have discussed in moment distribution that if this is the beam, when far end is fixed, the moment that is required for causing unit rotation at the near end, the moment that is required for causing unit rotation at the near end, when far end is fixed, is given by the stiffness whose value equal to 4EI by L. 4EI by L. And when we apply a moment equal to 4EI by L for causing unit rotation at the near end, there will be a carryover moment to the opposite end whose value will be equal to half the value and of the same sign. Half the value, that is 2EI by L. So that concept we are going to use here. So this is the force applied, this is the carryover force. Therefore, so with this basics, now the force developed at coordinate 1, small k or capital K, force developed at coordinate 1 due to unit displacement at coordinate 1. Unit displacement coordinate 1, that is K11. K11 equal to, for this part it is, let us call this as L1 and let us call this as L2. So for the portion BC, it is 4EI by L2, then for the 4EI2 by L2, plus for the portion BA, it is 4E I1 by L1. 4EI1 by L1. 4EI by L, say because this may be having I, this may be having 2I, the length of this is maybe 4 meters, length of this may be 7 meters. For any problem we have to be ready. Now of course here I is uniform and L is uniform. I1, L1, I2, L2. Now here I1 equal to I2 equal to I. Therefore, in our case, it is 4EI by L2 equal to 6 meters plus 4EI L1 is also 6 meters. So this is equal to 2 into 4, 8 EI, 8 EI by 6, 8 EI by 6 are equal to 4 EI by 3, 4 EI by 3. So, this is our, so we have to add the forces because the joint has to rotate as a whole. Therefore, 4 EI by L1 for the span AB at B and 4 EI by L for the span BC at B. So, these two equal to 4 EI by 3, 4 EI by. Therefore, the K matrix, we will write it here, 4 EI by 3. K11 equal to 4 EI by 3, right. Now, here, this is another coordinate. Therefore, when there is a displacement here, force will get developed here also, because this is one coordinate, this is coordinate 2. So, along coordinate 2, whatever is the force developed at coordinate 2 due to unit displacement at coordinate number 1. Force developed at coordinate 2 due to unit displacement at coordinate 1. So, this will be the carryover moment whose value will be equal to 2EI2 by L2. 2EI2 by L2. Therefore, K21, the value of K21 equal to 2EI, carryover moment is half the value. So, 2EI by L2 equal to 6. So, 2EI by 6 equal to EI by 3. EI by 3. So, this value equal to EI by 3. So, by applying unit displacement along coordinate 1, we get the first column of the stiffness matrix. Right. Now, we have to apply the displacement along coordinate 2. Right. Now, this is a given beam. Right. Now, we are going to apply displacement along coordinate 2. So, here we are going to apply unit displacement along coordinate 2 we are going to apply, and we have to allow only one displacement at a time. So, this is already a simply supported, this is already simply supported. So, it will also undergo rotation, B will also undergo rotation, but according to the definition for stiffness coefficient, you have to apply only one displacement at a time. Therefore, this will be treated as fixed. Only one displacement at a time. Right. Now, here we have to allow unit displacement, that is corresponding to this, the displacement is that of rotation. So, here it is 0, only this displacement equal to unity, and here it is arrested, right. So, the force developed here will be the force developed at coordinate 2, due to unit displacements along coordinate 2, Here again, when this value we know, this value will be equal to 4EI2 by L2. Therefore, K22 will be the force developed along coordinate 2 due to unit displacement along coordinate 2 equal to 4EI2 by L2. This is equal to 4EI by 6 equal to 2 by 4EI by 6. 4EI by 6 will be equal to 2EI by 3. That is the value K22. Right. Now, here it is fixed. When we apply a moment here, there will be a carryover moment and of the same sign to the opposite end of the same member. Now this value we know it is half the value and of the same sign, 2EI by L2. So this value will be the force developed along coordinate 1 due to unit displacement along coordinate 2, K12. So K12 equal to 2EI by 2EI2 by L2 equal to 2EI by 6 equal to EI by 3. Okay. Therefore, this value equal to EI by 3 and this value equal to 2EI by 3. So that is the stiffness matrix for the structure. Stiffness matrix for the structure. Now, we have tried down the equilibrium equation. Equilibrium equation is K into, the equilibrium equation is K into U. U are the unknown displacements is equal to F. Right. Now, we can take one EI by 3 outside in the K matrix. So, EI by 3 we can take it outside. So, this is 4, this is 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 into U1, U2. Displacement, that is theta B and theta C equal to this. Already we have the simplified value minus 15 equal to minus 15 minus 30. So, this is the most important equation, equilibrium equation. Therefore, U1, U2 equal to this, when it goes to the right hand side, it will become a 3 by EI, 3 by EI into this value 4, 1, 1, 2 inverse, inverse into minus 15 and minus 30, minus 15 and minus 30. So, this will be 3 by EI, 3 by EI into the inverse of this will be 1 by determinant into adjoint of the matrix, namely 1 by determinant will be 1 by 4 into 8 minus 1 into 1, 7. So, 4 into 2 minus 1 by determinant into the adjoint of the matrix. 2 will go here and 4 will come here. So, this will become 2 and 4 and these two will be retained in the place, but with the minus sign, minus sign, minus sign. So, 1 by adjoint into 1 by determinant into adjoint of the matrix into minus 15 minus 30. So, this we have to simplify, that is this is 3 by 7 EI, 3 by 7 EI into 2 into 15, 2 into minus 15 minus of minus 1 into minus 30. First row, first column, second row, second column multiplied by this value. So, this everybody can do it. So, I will just simply give the final value U1, U2 equal to, after simplification we will be getting the value U1 equal to 0, U1 equal to 0 and this value equal to minus 45 by EI. So, this will be the final. So, that means theta B will be 0 and theta C is minus 45 by EI. They are the displacements. So, this is the procedure for finding out the unknowns theta b and theta c. Now we are going to get the final moments using our slope deflection equations. So what we are already familiar. So for getting the final moments, so we are combining that of our classical methods and elementary procedures, etc. in the matrix method. So it is a combination of both. That is why it is called direct system approach. And this is not possible for programming. So the purpose is right. Anyway, coming to the final moments, MAB equal to the final moment MAB equal to MFAB. This is our familiar slope deflection equation. MFAB plus 2EI by L into 2 theta A plus theta B plus 3 delta by L. Right. Now here, in our case, MFAB is minus 45. MFAB is minus 45 plus 2EI for the span AB. AB for the span L for AB is 6 meters. AB into 6 meters. And A is a fixed end. A is in the given problem, A is a fixed end. Therefore, theta A is 0. Theta A is 0. And already we have got theta B is also 0. Theta B. Therefore, 0. And here no mention about any settlement. Therefore, that is also 0. Therefore, M of AB equal to minus 45 kilonewton meter. MAB equal to the final moment, MAB equal to minus 45 kilonewton meter. This is one value. Similarly, MBA equal to M of BA plus 2EI by L into 2 theta B plus theta A plus 3 delta by L. And here also we know theta B is 0, theta A 0, delta is 0. Therefore, we need not substitute those values. So, MBA equal to M of BA, that is all. MBA equal to M of BA is plus 45. M of BA is plus 45, that is all. 45 kilonewton meter. That completes. Therefore, that is about the final moments MAB and MBA. I will discuss one more case. MBC equal to M of BC plus 2EI by L into 2 theta B plus theta C plus 3 delta by L equal to M of BC is minus 30 equal to minus 30 plus for BC also I is I and L is 6 meters into theta B is 0, delta is 0. We have only theta C. Theta C is minus 45 by EI. Theta C equal to minus 45 by EI. Here we will find EI will get cancelled. So this is minus 30 minus, actually there is minus here, 2 into 45, 90 by 6, minus 90 by 6. So this will become 15. So this is equal to minus 45. That is also minus 45. And when you calculate MCB, that will be 0. that will become 0. So that we need not waste our time. So we will be getting 0. So that is how we have to find out the final moments. Now, coming to this problem, so we get the final moment as 45 minus 45 plus 45, and here minus 45, and here we will be getting 0. Now, why we are discussing so many methods? Because suppose if a similar problem is given in some competitive examinations. Of course, if method is mentioned, we have to do it. In competitive examinations, this problem can be solved very easily. Namely, suppose we take moment distribution method. Moment distribution, whatever may be the distribution factor, fixed moments are minus 45 or plus 45. Here minus 30 and here it is plus 30. These are the fixed end moments. Whatever may be the distribution factor, don't bother about those things. Don't bother about the distribution factors. You imagine the general tabulation, and then in moment distribution, first work what we will do is, we will release the simply supported. So we have started with a wrong assumption, assuming C as fixed, B also as fixed. So we will be releasing the simply supported end. For releasing the simply supported end, this value will be, you have to apply minus 30. For making this a 0, you have to apply minus 30, release the simply supported end. Right. When you apply a moment at the point C here, there will be a carryover to the opposite end. There is a carryover whose value is half the value under the same sign. Same sign. Now, in the next step, what we will be writing is, we will be writing the initial moments. We will be writing as the initial moments. So, initial moments will be minus 45 plus 45. When these two are added, minus 45, and this becomes 0. Right. So, next we have to go for balancing. There is only one joint which requires balancing, and that joint is already balanced because this value is plus 45, this value is minus 45, already it is balanced. Therefore, there is no need for further step. These are the initial moment itself will be the final moments. Therefore, we can readily find out the answer. If you are familiar with the moment distribution method, we can do it in one step. We can do the calculation in one step. So, that is just to check our answer. Just to check our answer, and that completes this problem by matrix stiffness method. Therefore, certain problems can be solved by other classical methods in no time, but when method is mentioned, of course, these things requires practice. Once if one has got enough practice, we can solve these problems without taking much time. One has to be strong in the basics. Therefore, for drawing the bending moment diagram, here it is 45, and here also B also it is 45, 45, 45, and here it is 0. This is the support moment diagram. Support moment diagram. Support moment diagram. And then for this span, the simply supported moment equal to WL by 4. Simply supported moment equal to WL by 4 is 60 into 6 by 4 equal to 90. Simply supported moment equal to 90 for AB. So, AB it is 90. So, this value is 90. This value is 45. So, this is minus, this is plus, and this is minus. Of course, we have to hatch. Of course, we have drawn number of bending moment diagrams. I think this will not be needed anyway for completion. For completion. And for the span BC, simply support moment is WL square by 8, that is 10 into 6 square by 8. So that value happens to be 45. That value happens to be 45 kilonewton meter. So the middle, when this is 45, middle it is 22.5. Therefore, it will also be of the same height. So actually it will little above. Anyway, the total value is here also it is 45 kilonewton meter. So this is the bending moment diagram. This is the bending moment diagram for the given beam. So that completes analysis of a two-span continuous beam by direct stiffness method, right? So thank you for the patience.